I'm gonna have too much fun with this thing. Oh, it's infrared. I don't like that it's not in. I don't like that it's infrared, but that's fine. I can learn to deal with it. This is so cool. Normally when Amazon sellers ask me to review something or take a look at something on this channel, I immediately throw their email in the garbage because usually it's a scam. But in this case, I made an exception because of what's... Oh, sorry, you guys weren't supposed to see that. But what's inside this box that makes it interesting for me, and hopefully for you, is that the fact that this is actually a microscope. And it's specifically made for electronics, textiles, and other things, but mostly it's geared towards electronic repair, but it can also be used for other things. Now, we're going to get too much into the other things because I'm really just interested in this from an electrical standpoint or PCB inspection standpoint. I'm not a repairman. I don't know how to repair PCBs or electronics in general. But nonetheless, I think this would be cool to check out and use on the channel because we often take a close look at hardware, kind of look at it, or look at all the PCBs, see what the chips are, and things like that. So I figured this might come in handy in the future when we want to take a look at electronics. So this is from Joyalens, a brand I've never heard of, probably have never seen because I am not in the market for these types of things. Well, apparently I am because I accepted this. Obviously, this is not a paid sponsorship. Well, I guess, I don't know, it's not paid. They sent this to me and I'm making a video. They sent this to me for free. I didn't have to pay them money. And they didn't pay me money to make this either. They just sent me this thing. Anyway, that's the point. So typical stuff here with the YouTube channel. Oh, sweet. It comes with a micro SD card or one of those like super small ones. So it's 32 gigabytes. That's nice. Comes with some slides, so I guess you can actually use this to look at some biological specimens. This one looks like it comes with a pine stem and some other pre-made ones, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll take a look at that later. USB cable. We've got different lenses, so I do know that some of these lenses will be used for like looking at PCBs or some of these biological specimens. I'm not sure which ones do what. There is, oh, this looks like the slide holder, so you can put those on there. Pretty neat. We'll keep those two together. HDMI cable, that's awesome. Oh, wait a minute, is this mini HDMI? Oh, boys. It's mini HDMI to HDMI. That's terrible. Well, I don't think we'll be unplugging and plugging in a lot, but not a big fan of micro HDMI, but it totally has it. Maybe not a big deal, I don't know. There's some weird adapter. This looks like some sort of controller for power, and then maybe increasing and decreasing the lens. I'm not entirely sure. I think we got to pull this up next, okay? Oh, there's even more stuff down here. All right, so we've got a thingy that raises and lowers. Oh. So I think this goes like something like this, and we can raise and lower it. I don't know. We'll figure that out. This can't be too difficult. There we go. See, look at me go. Regular, just a good old expert right here. We'll figure that part out later. And then the base of the microscope itself. So this is where obviously you would put all your electronics and things that you want to inspect. And it comes with two little lights. Isn't that cute? I have no idea if this is useful. Again, not an electronic repair specialist. Maybe this could be something used for amateurs at home. I have no idea what amateurs even use. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I just want to check it out because it seems cool. It genuinely seems cool. And that's why we're making this video. There's something sticky on this. It's probably just oil or something, but my hands are getting sticky and I don't want to leave fingerprints all over the place. So I'm gonna try and clean up my hands real quick, just a little bit, get whatever is on my hands off. I might put some gloves on for this because I just don't want my hands to get all dirty. All right, I'm for sure cleaning off some probably much needed oils to help lubricate all of these things, you know, actuating, moving up and down and such. So I try not to clean too much in the actual inside of the rails, but I definitely clean the outside of the rails a little bit. Be right back. I'm gonna go grab some gloves. Shall we continue? Is everyone ready? I hope so, because I'm moving on with or without you. All right, I want to see if I can assemble this thing the right way without looking at the instructions. It looks pretty straightforward, but sometimes even the most simplest things can be done the most incorrect way. So I'm guessing it goes something a bit like this. We'll stick it about here for now. This is pretty simple. Oh man, I think I should probably mention, it looks like it's got little plastic ends. I don't know if you guys can see that, where that keeps this from actually damaging the metal. So it's just not scratching it all up. That's actually a really nice touch. Not something I expected. Honestly, when I first saw this thing, I was like, it's gonna get scratched to no end and back. But it looks like they've thought about that or have some experience with this. All of these little thumb screws have plastic at the end. All right, we'll put that like that. Actually, let's lower this all the way down. So I think the screen would go on next. So this comes off, completely off. Wow, these are some long screws. Put that all the way in. Oh yeah, that's a nice tight fit. All right, screw this to tighten it, make sure it's good to go. The first lens we're gonna put on here is the L lens, and this will probably be the only lens we put on here, but it's pretty easy. Just gotta line this hole up with the hole here, and there's two holes on both sides for screws. Once you have those lined up, of course, just stick the screws inside their respective holes and tighten down. And you only need to use hand strength. You don't need to go too hard on this. And boom, they're both tightened. Now make sure when you remove these, you keep at least 1 or 2 fingers underneath the lens as you remove the screws, or else this will fall straight down and could potentially get damaged. L lens is for looking closely at circuit boards or like repairing watches and things. We have A, which is looking at like an entire object, let's say a coin, stamps, things of that nature. And then of course we have D, which is for looking at organisms, or I shouldn't say microbiological organisms, but let's just say really small things that you would typically have on a slide. So that's what those are for. All right, and I did assemble this wrong. This ring is actually supposed to go underneath this. I thought it was gonna go up here, so oops there, but I don't know, it seems fine. It seems sturdy enough to me. It's not going anywhere. All right, let's get this all plugged in and see what we can do. Turns out you can actually decide whether you want to use just the LCD panel or if you want to use the LCD panel and the lights. I'm gonna opt for using the lights as well. So we just need to plug this USB into the power brick, which I've plugged the power brick already into our power switch or power strip. Now on the rear of the device, you take the USB that comes off that cable and plug it in right here. And this goes out the back of the device. And then all the way at the base of the device is another place to plug in this barrel connector, and that should turn the lights on. If not, we have a cable. There we go. And now our LEDs are on. Sweet. Of course, the most important thing with any assembly is removing the plastic off of the screen. Oh wow, that was a nice peel. Uh-oh. Looks like we got some static buildup on there. Okay, looks like it's turned on. Both lights are operating. Sweet. All right, so we're not getting video out. That's probably okay. Let's see what happens if we press this M button. Don't know. 1 time, so that's like zooming, I guess. Hit OK. Please insert SD card. And if you press the camera button, it says please insert SD card. So maybe we have to insert the SD card that they included. Very nice. Slide that into the rear of the LCD panel. It's pretty sick that this can actually operate just off of USB power. Looks like we can save up to 5 hours, 15 minutes, and 49 seconds of video should we be recording. This died during a client install. I'm guessing the power some capacitor or something on this is blown. So this is actually the perfect opportunity to look at what might be wrong with this TP-Link router. So you guys probably don't remember this video because it happened over a year ago. So I am definitely really interested to see what actually went wrong with this, or see if we can decipher what went wrong with this. This is exciting. Now we're getting into the good stuff. I have absolutely no idea how to operate this thing. So hitting the magnification on here doesn't seem to be doing anything. I definitely zoomed in too close. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you can, I think I'm zooming in more. I'm just too close. I'm way too close. There we go. Holy cow, that looks so good. Wow, that looks good. I was zoomed way too far in. All right, let's see if we can kind of zoom around here. We need some more light. Oh yeah, this is sweet. This is so cool. This is where power comes in. I feel like I need a pointer now. This is whoa, look how much bigger the freaking screwdriver is compared to what I'm trying to zoom in on. We're gonna need something even more fine. Okay, so this is where the power comes in. I don't see any damage. Everything looks good. There's some dust or something right there. Let's get rid of that. So this thing will not boot. Well, that capacitor is ginormous. This is awesome. I'm so glad I said yes to this. It's like a toy. Okay. I don't see any visible signs of this. Even the capacitor doesn't look like it's blown at all. It doesn't seem fat, I guess, as they would say. I actually am not sure what is broken on this. Let's see if we keep going down the line here. Let's zoom in, clear that up. All right, I still don't see any damage anywhere, no signs of anything blown, but this thing certainly doesn't get power. So maybe there's not something blown and we're gonna need a multimeter to really determine where the power loss is. Yeah, nothing really stands out. Let's check the other side of the PCB. Maybe it'll reveal more. All right, let's look at the other. Oh yeah, look at that. So this looks like the core problem. I don't know what all this is. Maybe that's some like, looks like it might be corrosion of some sort, but we can actually see looks like it's got some black on it, around it. Doesn't appear to be damaged though, and I can't actually see that with my naked eye. But there is all sorts of stuff all over this. I wonder what all this is. I don't have anything to clean this off with. That's pretty good high resolution, I would say. Now what's really cool is you, like I mentioned earlier, you can actually export whatever you're seeing on the screen and put it on a different screen. All right, I have no idea how this is gonna work logistically. This monitor's bigger than my desk. Gotta make some room here. That's all I know. All right, there we go. My face in the screen. And yeah, you guys can see the screen good. All right, let's plug this thing in. Oh my goodness. I really need a camera person. Okay, so this display turned off, it looks like, when I plugged it into this massive ultra wide. No signal, huh? This is actually trying to stretch out the image. I don't know if you can, how well you can see that. I'm really sorry. It's trying to stretch out the image across the entirety of the screen. You'll just have to take my word for it. So it's trying to do a 3440 by 1440p image. Let's see what happens when we mess with the menu settings. All right, let's go to resolution. Oh, this thing it does sound also. Oh, Lord. All right, no change there. This doesn't seem to have improved the resolution at all. This all looks the same to me. Maybe that only affects the display. Okay, well, we can't seem to change the resolution, which I would expect, but honestly, you know, the fact that this looks really good. And I'm surprised that it's even trying to do this resolution. I don't know if I can set the ultra wide to work. Let me move this out of the way. I don't know if I could set the ultra wide to work specifically in a smaller resolution or not, because I just got this thing recently. But I'm sure, like most monitors, you can. Oh gosh, I am shaking the heck out of this. Come on. Oh wow, that looks so crisp. Man, that looks good. Okay, so we also have, what is this? We have this little switch here. I think this turns the power off to the entire unit. I didn't see that one coming. I thought it just turned the lights on and off. All right, let's power the unit back on. Okay, cool. So it immediately exports to that. That's kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool if you could just get rid of this altogether. And then this controls the brightness. Oh, wow. It's weird, huh? I like that. I like this thing. This thing is really cool. I think I'm just realizing for you guys on this camera, or the way that this is actually facing, the quality of this image doesn't look that good, but in my real life eyes, this is pretty good quality. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a pretty decent resolution. I really wish I had a proper 4K or 1080p monitor that I could connect to this thing, but unfortunately I just don't. At least not one that I'm willing to take off the desk over there because it's mounted to an arm mount and then get it all configured over here. So this is literally the best I can do. But it still looks really good even though it's like stretched. I'm actually genuinely having fun with this. I thought this was gonna be like a really terrible product, but it's actually very cool. Like it's very cool. Enough playing around, it's time to do a bit of a deep dive on this thing. I do want to slightly take a closer look at these to see if these are user replaceable, these lights here. Zoom in, it looks like we can unscrew these. Looks like the whole... No, there we go. The lens does come off, so we can remove that separately. Oh, and that fell straight out on its own. I think now we might be able to remove the entire housing now for the rest of the light. Okay, I'm not entirely sure how you would replace these. There's wires holding that in, but it does look like you might be able to change out this LED if you really needed to. The wire obviously goes all the way down the spine here. You could probably remove this, but I don't want to get into a full disassembly of this because I actually need to use it before I break it or start breaking things. All right, let's get this put back together. I'm sure somebody who actually buys this will know how to repair that on their own. This seems like a very niche product for a very select group of people. I did not tighten this on good enough. There we go. So this controller pretty much controls the entire thing, and you can do a lot with it. So we have the capture button here at the top. Of course, the menu for navigating the menu within the LCD panel. The freeze button. We have the mode change, so you can change the mode, obviously, of the camera from capture, burst, and recording. We have the zoom up, the zoom down. We have the brightness down, brightness up. We could change the refresh rate from 50 hertz to 60 hertz. We can add a cross line. I think that's important for people who actually like repairing or measuring things. We have the sharpness down button, the sharpness up button. We have the lock unlock file. We have contrast down, contrast up. Of course, you know, we have NTL and PAL. I don't think that's very useful for us, or I even care. We have inverse. This inverses all the colors, I believe. And then we have black and white mode here. And then we also have default set. So it changes everything to default. And then the last button is image rotate. So if you push this, your image will be rotated. And if you push it again, it'll be rotated. Just take a look at the menu closer up since I didn't really show this to you before. So of course you can change your resolution like I had mentioned earlier. We have exposure levels. I don't honestly know what all of this means. I just want to show you. We can turn date timestamps off. Oops. We increase the sharpness, decrease it, freeze, contrast, colors. Then of course we have another menu here that if we switch over to by pressing the menu button twice, we can turn on Wi-Fi and turn it off. We can change our grid line settings. So I think that's probably important for some people. I don't know what these different lines mean, to be honest. This is out of my league. I'm sure this is useful to someone out there, but do know that it has this feature. You can even change the direction of these. That's really cool. Oh, this changes specific lines. Oh gosh, I'm gonna break everything. Okay. So I'm guessing if you've ever done electronic repair or played with microscopes, you have a pretty good feeling of what all this does. I didn't know you would change individual lines. That seems pretty scary. And you know, these are really good colors. So I'm actually red-green colorblind here a little bit anyway. And I can see that this is, okay, I think this is yellow, orange, white, maybe another yellow. Maybe this one's green actually. This looks like red, black. There was a blue line here earlier. I don't know what I did with it. But nonetheless, I can see these colors pretty well. I don't know how well they're being picked up by the camera, but it is really good. So let's get out of here. We have more date time settings, languages. Looks like we have a lot to choose from. I'm not going to go through all of those. Frequency, let's change to 60 hertz. We can format our SD card. Oh, that was quick. And then we can set everything to default settings. That was also very quick. And version, so this is the firmware version that we have installed. Very neat. This is pretty cool. The last couple things I want to mention about this is you can actually connect this to a computer and use it as a USB camera, or you can see the camera through USB, which is also really cool. And it can be charged through a regular USB port. Actually, if it plugged into a standard USB 2.0 port right now, so it's getting all its power from there. It's powering the LCD screen and the lights and everything that you see right out of the box. And of course, as you saw, we can do HDMI out. And then when you also plug this into a computer, there's a bunch of additional software settings that you have access to. We're not going to get into those as much as I'm sure some of you would be interested in. That stuff is honestly above my knowledge and my experience. So we're just going to specifically stick to what I've shown you so far, because I would have to learn so much about this. And honestly, I just want to look really close up at microelectronics. And this isn't really a review, it's more of a demonstration anyway. And I'm sitting here realizing I keep saying USB power. Well, that's kind of generic. When I say USB power, I mean 5 volts, 2 amps. So you do need a USB port that's capable of providing 5 volts and 2 amps. That's very important if you want to power everything to spec, if you will. Any less than that, and you're probably going to have some issues. And it has to also be stable current too. That's something we don't always think about, right? Having stable currency. Stable currency. Oh, that was an accident. I didn't even mean to do that. We can expect money. This is awesome. I'm gonna have too much fun with this thing. Oh, it's infrared. I don't like that it's not in, I don't like that it's infrared, but that's fine. I can learn to deal with it. This is so cool. I'm not saying this was a perfect gift for kids. I'm basically a child. But I think a young 10-year-old or maybe even all the way up to a teenager would find this actually really cool and interesting. Maybe not to just poke around with electronics, but also to, you know, look at some slides with, I don't know, some blood, or I was going to say another word, but blood, or the, wow, I can't think of the biological terms. Plant material, plant pieces of plants on these. I don't know, things like that. I think they would have a blast. I certainly want to introduce this to my kid so he can take a look at things at a closer up scale, because I'm having a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people would find this as a really interesting gift. Now, it is kind of expensive. I think it's $200 for this particular model. This is the J24M. I don't remember the actual model. I'll leave the link in the video description below, but I think it's like $200. So it's a pretty expensive gift, but assuming it lasts for a long time, it is certainly a lot of fun. And it would be, I don't know, it'd be pretty cool, I think, for kids. They probably make cheaper ones for kids, but I don't know. So I think we're gonna end the video here, because I'm not really sure what's left to be said about this. Again, I don't really do full-on reviews, so I apologize there if you came looking for that. But I think this is at least a good video demonstration of how someone could use this. This video was my first time, no previous exposure. I literally turned the camera on and we just went for it, and everything you saw is what we got. So I didn't leave anything out. I obviously showed you my errors with not installing this correctly, because I didn't even look at the manual. So like really clean, fresh look with no prior experience here. So with all that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.